Welcome to Loup TV. I'm Gene along with Andrew for Wednesday, March 16th. Our three topics today are Instagram getting into NFTs, reading between the lines in terms of China regulation and how they want to flex their supply chain muscle. And lastly, Amazon starting to get into educational gaming. Back to the top is Instagram has announced that they're going to be creating an integration with NFTs. And Andrew, first, just love to start with you there is what is kind of the substance of an integration with NFTs and Instagram? What does that mean?
Well, start with the fact that Instagram is a visual platform and a very natural home for a lot of NFTs, that at least the NFT artwork that's become popular, usually square images or GIFs that can be bought and sold and exchanged. So the trick for Instagram is to figure out how to integrate some level of ownership into your images versus just sharing them publicly.
Got it. And so today you can't obviously do that. And when you think about it, is this a material step forward? I assume it's not a step back for NFTs. Is it a material step forward? If so, why?
Well, I think if Instagram were to execute well on this, it's a huge step forward for NFTs. Just to put it in context, OpenSea, one of the largest NFT marketplaces, has about 1 million users. Coinbase, another company that has said they're going to develop an NFT marketplace, has less than 100 million users. And of course, Instagram has 1 billion monthly users. So orders of magnitude larger in terms of global impact and taking NFTs to a mass adoption status.
Got it. And Loup is an investor in Coinbase. And in terms of what the opportunity from a consumer standpoint, why should they care? For those who are listening who don't have NFTs, what's so exciting about NFTs in the first place?
Well, just like the things we own physically, a vest or a shirt or shoes, the things we own express who we are. And as people spend more time online, digital assets become an expression of your identity, whether it's your artwork or the vest or the shoes or the shirt that you're wearing in a video game. So NFTs are a way to own those digital assets and express who you are in these digital environments.
And lastly, how would Facebook want to monetize this? Is this just simply through adding this lever is going to increase engagement in Instagram, therefore more engagement, they can sell ads other places? Or do you think that they eventually want to try to more directly monetize this through an NFT marketplace?
I think some sort of take rate on a NFT exchange. If Kim Kardashian minted 1,000 NFTs on her Instagram account and sold them to 1,000 lucky fans, then they could take a exchange fee for that transaction. I think there's a huge monetization plan, and I'm excited to see where Instagram takes NFTs.
Now they could do that, the take rate. They could do just advertising just from kind of a high level engagement piece too. Well framed in there. We'll jump to our second topic, which brings us to China. The news is that Shanghai Giga is going to be shut down for a couple days related to some concerns on the COVID, quote, outbreak within China. This also comes at the time where Foxconn in Shenzhen is getting the green light to turn on some iPad and iPhone production. I'll start on the first one in terms of Tesla and what the impact is. And I think that this is not a surprise. And I think that if you're just to brush up on our China geography here, it's roughly 900 miles between Shenzhen and Shanghai. And that is, so call it from, I don't know what that is, Philadelphia or Ohio, all the way to the West Coast. And it feels like, to use the COVID outbreak example, does have a little bit of merit to it, but I think what's going on here is a well-traveled playbook where China will periodically go and just kind of turn the screws down briefly, just to kind of remind people who is in control. Today, it's using the pandemic as air cover to shut down a very visible Tesla for a couple days. We have, in the past, we've seen changes in licensing policies. Back when we were spending a lot of time in China 10 years ago covering China internet companies, it was common to see businesses being shut down, manufacturing, other tech businesses to be shut down periodically for some changes in license. We had I guess 6 months ago or so, kind of the rolling power outages, where different factories were shut down to conserve energy. I'm sure there's always some kind of truth at the core, but the real substance, I think, is just China reminding the world who's boss when it comes to manufacturing. And I think that is largely my view about what's going on in Shenzhen. But here we go. We get a surprise same day that Foxconn petitioned successfully, it sounds like, to be turned back on with Apple. And like your take on how do you read that, given what I just said about everything else that goes on?
Well, I think it's a delicate balance, right? Yes, they want to flex their muscle and identify their power over global supply chains. And they've done an incredible job leveraging that power in recent months. At the same time, they need to balance that with relationships with major global players like Apple. And I think that that balance is what we're seeing play out in real time here. Then you've got Tim Cook, who is probably eating and sleeping China supply chain issues at this point. Let's remember that supply chain and operations are Tim Cook's superpower. He got to where he is today because he was able to scale up Apple from 0 to hundreds of millions of units. And you don't do that without a significant superpower and strong relationships with China. So I think there's a lot of dynamics playing out that balance out, not just their flexing their muscles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just feels like from a navigating politics standpoint, Cook just continues to crush it and
to shine.
Well, yeah, shine. Whether it was with the Trump administration, Biden administration, the Obama, I think it has been just quite remarkable how he keeps doing that. Looking back to the tariffs back in the spring of 2019, how Apple largely avoided being flagged on those, and so. Score another one for Tim Cook and Apple. I guess that's one of the reasons why they are the gold standard when it comes to these types of relationships. Our final topic is related to Amazon. They've announced a game, an educational game. To play this game, you log in with your Amazon account, and so you're playing it typically on desktop, and the gameplay essentially is, think of it like SimCity. I guess you could think there's some Roblox, maybe kind of analogies to it as well. But there's an educational piece which helps people learn how to use AWS as well. Rebecca from our team, even though she is not our in-house AWS expert, she's our in-house content expert. She has gone and played around with the game and showed us a little bit about it. And my takeaway was pretty sad effort at a game. I understand that the clunkiness of a game and some of the graphics can be enduring, and that's one of the attractions, and they're purposely made like that at times. But this felt like even a layer far further removed. I wondered, why are they messing with this? I think the standard here is Apple with their Swift programming language, which has a focus on youth. They have games around Swift that are like Super Mario Brothers in terms of the quality of those games for learning purposes. And I guess my question is, Andrew, why even go there? Like, why even? I'm not the ideal player of this game, but it just feels like, do we really need to educate people how to use AWS, or what's the point here?
I think over the history of tech and successful technology adoption, you've seen education as a really important channel. Apple did it with the Mac. Adobe did it with the Creative Suite. They are able to subsidize, sometimes even just give it away to education channels to drive adoption and familiarity. Yeah, you win them early, and you win them for life. is part of the theory. And of course, if they have to do it because their teachers tell them to, then there's an important element there. So education broadly is helpful in bringing technologies into
Makes
mass
sense.
adoption.
Didn't think of that.
Gamifying it expands the audience. Here, I just think they're trying to get people more familiar with AWS tools. And if there's a gaming education component, maybe on the margin, they get more users earlier, and long term they benefit from that. But this is also Amazon throwing anything against the wall, like classic Amazon experiment. Let's try a game. Who knows if it'll work?
What was the name of the ring? Echo Ring.
Oh, you're talking about the
Smart Ring.
Smart Ring. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, that's, I guess they have a license, unlike Apple. Apple's got to do things. It has to be highest standard all the time. In Amazon's case, they have that flexibility to go and put things against the wall and not be penalized for it. Definitely put that in this camp. Good point about educating people, get them in early, get them on AWS. And of course, we're still early in, if you think from a multi-decade period, still early within cloud. On behalf of that, we're going to wrap there, Andrew. On behalf of Andrew, Gene, and our first rate hike, I think in 6 years, 4 years, 6 years, first rate hike in a long time, and Loup TV. Bye for now.